Welcome back to the VHDL concepts. Uh, so in the previous session, we have discussed about the VHDL conceptual model. So where a VHDL conceptual model, it consists of the mainly two parts. So that is VHDL entity, VHDL architecture. The VHDL entity, it describes about the external interface of the digital system, and the VHDL architecture, it describes about the functionality of the digital circuit. So the VHDL entity, it describes the external interface of the circuit which is going to be modeled. So that is the interfacing. The external interfacing refers with the input and output ports of the digital system. And we have seen the entity declaration for a VHDL model. And in today's session, we will discuss about the VHDL architecture. And after that, so we will see the VHDL program structure. So program structure is nothing but the VHDL entity and architecture again. So we will see the VHDL program structure, and then the levels of abstraction, and we will see some of the examples. So what is a VHDL entity? A VHDL entity, it describes the external interface. It describes the input and output ports of the VHDL model. And now we will see the VHDL architecture. So we will see the VHDL architecture. The VHDL architecture, it describes the functional relationship between the input and output signals. The VHDL entity, it describes what are the input ports and what are the output ports. Where the VHDL architecture, it describes the functional relationship between the input and output signals. So just it describes the internal view of the entity, so which in turn describes the functionality or the behavior of the digital circuit. Here the architecture body of an entity, so don't get confused here, the architecture body of an entity. In VHDL, a digital system or a digital circuit which is model is referred with the entity, or simply we can say that what is an entity in VHDL is the hardware abstraction of a digital system. The hardware abstraction of a digital circuit is called entity. Entity refers the digital system or the digital circuit which is modeled or which is going to be modeled. So that is called the entity. So the entity of a model is described using the entity declaration and the architecture body. An entity of a VHDL model is described or which is built using the entity declaration and the architecture body. Here the architecture body, it mainly consists the two parts here. So the first part is the declarative part and the second part is statement part. Declarative part. So the declarative part, it may contain the declarations for the type of the signal or the signals or the components, and for the subprograms. The subprograms which are the procedures or maybe of the functions declarations. So simply this declarative part of the architecture which declares the type, signal, components, subprograms, like the subprograms are the procedures and the functions. So it just simply declares the type, signal, components and the subprogram declarations. The second part of the architecture is statement part. So here the statement part, which is actually describing the functionality of the entity. So what function is going to be implemented? Example, a full adder or half adder or an encoder circuit or a decoder circuit, a multiplexer, an arithmetic logic unit, a shift register. So these are all the examples to an entity, the system which is going to be modeled. So the statement part of the architecture body, it describes the behavior, or it describes the functionality of the entity in terms of the logical expressions or in terms of the mathematical expressions. Simply the statement part of the architecture, it consists the statements, and again the statements are different types: concurrent assignment statements, okay, concurrent assignment statements and the sequential assignment statements. The difference between the concurrent assignment statements and the sequential assignment statements: concurrent assignment statements, so they can be randomly executed in the architecture body if we want. So you can randomly execute the statements, whereas the sequence assignment statements, so the sequence will have the order, the sequence will have order. So the statements which are included under the sequential statements, so they have an order. According that sequence, according to that order, they will be executed one by one here. So the architecture body of a VHDL, it consists two parts: declarative part and the statement part. The declarative part declares the type, signal, components and subprogram declarations. The type of the signal can be declared, or the components can be declared, functions can be declared, procedures can be declared, which are all necessary to build a digital circuit in the VHDL. So the architecture body has two parts: declarative part and statement part. So the statement part, it consists the assignment statements, concurrent assignment statements, sequential assignment statements, and they are implemented in the form of the logical expressions or the mathematical expressions here. See, the architecture body has two parts here. And the next one is the syntax for the VHDL architecture. Syntax for the VHDL architecture. In the last class, we have seen the syntax for the VHD declaration. So in the VHD entity declaration, so we have seen that the syntax, it consists of the entity, name of the entity is, and we have the ports, and where in the ports you can define the input and output ports, and the entity is end with the a keyword with the end entity name. So that is the syntax for the VHDL architecture. Sorry, VHDL entity. So here the syntax for the VHDL architecture is the keyword. It starts with the keyword architecture, architecture name of entity name is. So because for every entity in the VHDL, it is modeled by the two parts. One is entity declaration and the second is architecture body. So now the VHDL architecture in the syntax, so it starts with the architecture keyword and architecture name. The architecture name is the user identifier. The user can choose, select of the entity name. To which entity you are writing this architecture, that name has to come here. That name has to come here. So architecture name of the entity name. So for which entity you are writing this architecture body, so that entity name has to come here. So it starts with the architecture name of entity is. And what are the two parts in the architecture body? The two parts in the architecture body is, one is the declarative part. One is the declarative part. So here the declarative part and the statement part is distinguished. It is distinguished with the keyword begin. With the keyword begin. So the statements which are above the begin are the declarative statements. These are the declarative statements. And the statements which are below the begin keyword are the statements of the architecture body. So where these statements consist the concurrent statements and sequential statements. So this is the syntax for the VHDL architecture. The syntax for the VHDL architecture, it starts with the keyword architecture with a optional name. The user can select the architecture name of the entity is. And after that, so here if you want to declare a type or if you want to declare any signals, so there are some signals which are needed internal of the architecture. Externally, we will have the real-time input and output signals, isn't it? For a circuit, for a system, if you take, externally there are signals like A, B, C are the signals, sum and carry are the output signals. So these are the external input and output signals. Whereas there are some signals which are known as the intermediate signals. So which are used to show the data flow direction. So some of the internal signals, they are intermediate signals which are used to show the flow of the data movement. So such signals can be declared between the architecture and begin. Between these two keywords, we will declare the signals, constants, functions, procedures, and components. So type and all these are declared between the architecture and begin. It is called the declarative part of the architecture body, where the actual real statements which are going to be implement the functionality of the circuit, they are between the begin and the end keyword. So between the begin and end, you will have your actual statements which are going to be implement your digital system, which is going to be implement your digital circuit. So in that, you will find out the concurrent assignment statements and the sequential assignment statements. The concurrent assignment statements will be randomly executed. If we want, you can execute randomly. And the sequential statements, so there is a sequence, there is a order for the sequential assignment statements. So according that order, they will be executed one by one in the sequential assignment statements, right? This is the syntax for the VHDL architecture. So let us see the VHDL syntax, entity syntax once again, and then we will go for the levels of abstraction. So here you can see this example for the entity declaration. So where it starts with the keyword entity and the entity name is. And then you will have the port, a keyword of port. In this port, you will define the input and output signals. Port, input and output signals. And finally, it is end with the entity name. End with the entity name. So this is the syntax for the general syntax for the entity here, right? Entity. So which describes the input and outputs of the digital system. And here it is the syntax for the VHDL architecture here. So now for conclusion, the VHDL entity, it describes the interfacing ports. The VHDL architecture describes the internal functionality or the behavior of the digital circuit, right? The VHDL architecture, VHDL entity. Now the next one is VHDL program structure. So what is the main purpose of VHDL? A VHDL is a hardware description language which is used to model a digital system, which is used to design a digital system. So in VHDL, it mainly consists of the two parts here. So what are the two parts? VHDL entity, VHDL architecture here. So these two are together, it is called the VHDL program structure. Suppose if the question, explain the VHDL program structure. If the question is, explain the VHDL program structure. So which means that you need to explain about the VHDL entity and VHDL architecture. Or even the VHDL conceptual model. The VHDL conceptual model also what? So it consists of a single entity with at least one architecture, or it can have the multiple architectures. That is the VHDL conceptual model. So both are same only because it consists of a VHDL entity, VHDL architecture. So the VHDL program structure. So in order to build a digital circuit, in order to model a digital system, the VHDL program structure will be help to build the digital circuit. So the VHDL program structure, it mainly consists of the VHDL entity and VHDL architecture. So far whatever we have seen, so that is the program structure. And the another important point, if you observe, so to build a digital circuit, to design a digital system, we require the VHDL program structure. And here the program structure is built using the design elements here, using the design elements. So we have 5 design elements. What are the 5 design elements? So do you remember that? The 5 design elements: entity, declaration, entity, declaration, entity, declaration, and the architecture, architecture, and configuration, declaration, configuration, declaration, and package, declaration, package, declaration, and the 5th one is package body. These are all the design units or the design elements which are used to build the program structure. Mainly the program structure consists of the VHDL entity and VHDL architecture, right? But internally, the VHDL program structure uses design units. So the design units are the entity declaration, architecture body, configuration declaration, package declaration, and the package body. So these are the design elements which are support to build a VHDL program, that is VHDL program structure. Now, what is exactly the VHDL architecture? The VHDL architecture is which is used to describe the functionality, which describes the behavior of the circuit. So in VHDL, at the architecture body, the behavior of the digital circuit or the behavior of the digital system can be described or it can be modeled at 3 different levels of abstraction here. They are described at the 3 levels of abstraction. So what are the 3 levels of abstractions are? The first one is the behavioral level. Behavior level. At the architecture body, it describes the digital system behavior, right? So at architecture body, the behavior of the digital system can be modeled or it can be described at three different levels of abstraction. They are also known as modeling styles of the VHDL. Modeling styles of the VHDL. The three modeling styles or the three levels of abstraction in the VHDL are: the first one is the behavioral or the algorithm. The most used word is behavioral rather than the algorithmic. Behavioral level, behavioral style of modeling, behavioral level of modeling. Okay, so the behavioral model. The behavioral model is the highest level of abstraction. As I said that there are three levels of abstraction. So out of the three levels of abstraction, the behavioral level is one of the abstraction level, and which is the highest level of abstraction. The behavioral level is the highest level of abstraction. And the behavioral level abstraction, it describes a system in terms of what it does. In terms of what it does. So which means how the circuit behaves here. The behavioral level, it describes a system in terms of how the circuit behaves here. So the behavioral level of abstraction, it describes the, or it specifies the relationship between the input and output here. Say when you have given an input to the a digital circuit, how the circuit behaves, so which is described by this behavioral level. So in the behavior level, it describes the system or it describes the functionality of the digital circuit. So simply, it is a relationship between the input and output. And the another point is the behavioral level of abstraction, it uses the sequential assignment statements. It uses the sequential assignment statements. What do you mean these sequential assignment statements? So these are a group of statements. They will be executed in an order. So the sequential statements will have an order, which is the sequence, order, sequence, one by one. So first it has to execute the first statement. Second, it has to execute the second statement. And the third one, it has to execute the third statement. So likewise, it has a sequence to implement the logic function. So the behavioral level of abstraction, we use the sequential assignment statements. Sometimes we also use the concurrent assignment statements too. We will also use the concurrent assignment statements too. But it is the very important point to remember that when you are designing a digital system at the behavior level, the instructions, I mean that the statements in the architecture body of the behavioral level, they are sequential assignment statements. So they will be executed one by one in an order, right? That is the behavioral level of abstraction. And the second one is data flow of abstraction. So data flow level of abstraction. So in this data flow, the data flow level, it describes how the data moves through the system here, how the data is moving in the system. So when you have applied input, so now how the output is produced by the circuit, because the input has to move from one stage to the another stage, and finally it will generate the output. So the data flow, it describes how the data moves through the system. And in this data flow level, it uses concurrent assignment statements here. It uses the concurrent assignment statements. So there will not be any order and all the concurrent signal statements will be executed at a time. Concurrent statements, they will be parallelly executed. They will be parallelly executed. Whereas the sequential, so the statements in the sequential assignments, they will be executed one by one in an order. But the concurrent assignment statements, say you have two concurrent assignment statements. Example, let the X is a output and you have assigned an output to this X signal as A or B. So what is the meaning of this statement? So the X is an output, A and B are input, and the A and B are logically OR, and the output is assigned to the signal X. So now the X, A, B are the signals, and OR is the function that is implementing for the circuit, and the output is assigned to this X. So these are called the concurrent statements here. Signal assignment statements. These are all called the concurrent signal statements. And another one you can assign. So Y is assigned with and another one. So Y is assigned with the and you can take the another concurrent statement. So Y is equal to say the P logically NAND and with the input Q. So these are the concurrent assignment statements. These are all the concurrent assignment statements. So they will be executed parallelly here. They will be executed parallelly here. So now the concurrent statement A and B and the concurrent statement P NAND Q. So these are simultaneously execute if you run this program. So these are the concurrent statements, sequential statements, concurrent statements. So the behavioral level, at the behavioral level, we use sequential assignment statements, which means that whatever the statements in that architecture body, they will be executed one by one. In data flow, whatever the statements we have in the data flow architecture, so they will be executed simultaneously and the result will be updated simultaneously at the all the outputs. That is data flow. So which describes the how data is flowing. So now see this example again. The X is assigned with the function A and with the B. So now how the data is flowing here? The A and B inputs are logically ANDed and the output is going to the X. So that is the flow of data, how the data is moving from input to the output. That is data flow level of abstraction. In data flow level, we use the concurrent assignment statements, right? And the third one, structural. Structural level of abstraction or structural modeling. Behavioral modeling, data flow modeling, structural flow. Or behavioral level of abstraction, data flow level of abstraction, and structural level of abstraction. So the structural is the lowest level of abstraction. Among the three, the behavioral is the highest level of abstraction, which is so at the behavioral it will not use any components and their interconnections to describe the functionality. It just describes the functionality between the relationship between the input and output. And we are not looking at we are not looking at the internal connections and what are the internal components that and all. We not look at this behavioral level. We just see the relation between the input. If you give an input, what is the output? That's it. But where the data flow, how the data is flowing from one to the other. I mean that how the data is flowing from input to the output. But the structural is the lowest level of abstraction, and it describes a digital system, or it describes a digital circuit as a collection of gates and their interconnections to perform the desired function, to perform the desired function. So to easily understand this, the behavioral level, at the behavioral level, we use the truth table. We use the truth table. We use the truth table of a logic gate. Say for example, AND gate me తీసుకున్నారు అనుకోండి. So you will have a 2 input AND gate. If you take the 2 input AND gate, so you will have the 4 possible combinations, and for the 4 possible combinations you will have the output. So 0 0 0 1 and 1 0 and 1 and 1, A and B. So let's say it is an AND gate. Let's say it is an AND gate X. So now what is the output? 0 0 0 and 1. So this is the behavioral model. This is the behavioral level of abstraction, where you are not seeing what are the components and how they are interconnected. We are not seeing at the behavioral level. Okay, so just if you give input, what is the output? If you give 0 0 as input, the output is 0. If you give input 1 and 1, the output is 1. So that is the behavioral level of abstraction. And what about the data flow? In the data flow level of abstraction, instead of the truth table, we use the logic expression. We use the logic expression. So we have the basic functionality of AND in our packages. In the VHDL packages, we have the AND functionality. So directly you can use this as a keyword. AND is a keyword. So A and B. So which means that the A and B are logically ANDed, and by using the assignment operator, by using this assignment operator less than or equal, by using this assignment operator, you are assigning this output value to the X. So which is the data flow level of modeling. In the data flow level of modeling, we use the logic expressions to implement the circuit. Now the third one is structural. So at the structural, the AND gate itself is a digital circuit. So now to understand this, you take an example of XOR gate. You take an example of XOR gate. You take an example of XOR gate here. So now what is the expression of an XOR gate? The expression of an XOR gate is A bar B plus A B bar, right? So this is the logical expression of the XOR gate. So now at the structural, we use the AND gate. We use the 2 AND gates and 1 OR gate for describing the functionality of the XOR. XOR function now it is implemented, or it is described with the help of the components. What are the components? 2 AND gates. To implement this term and to implement this term, we require 2 AND gates, and finally to obtain the output, we require the OR gate here, right? So at the structural level of abstraction, at the structural modeling, we use the gates. We use the components, and we will connect them and to implement the function of the circuit. So these are the 3 levels of abstraction. Okay, so while you're writing the architecture body of an VHDL, so the architecture body can be at the 3 different levels here. Behavior level, it is also known as the behavioral modeling style. Data flow, it is also known as the data flow modeling style, and the structural modeling or the structural level of abstraction. So మీకు ఇది అర్థమవుతుంది కదా. బిహేవియరల్ లో ఏం చేస్తాము, ఎటువంటి సర్క్యూట్స్ ని, ఎటువంటి లాజికల్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్స్ ని మనం వాడట్లా. ఏం చేస్తున్నాం మనం? జస్ట్ we are taking the truth table, or we just take the state diagram, or we just take the block diagram, and we will describing the operation of the circuit. But in the data flow, we are describing the circuit with the help of the logic expressions, by simplifying the logic expressions. So now you have the truth table, and you can simplify this truth table now, isn't it? You can simplify this truth table, right? By using the minimization techniques, by using the Karnaugh map. So by using that, you can simplify the logic function, you can simplify the truth tables, and they will be getting to the logical expressions. సో కాబట్టి మనం డేటా ఫ్లో లెవెల్లో ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాస్తున్నాం అంటే మనం ఏం వాడతాం అక్కడ లాజికల్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్స్ వాడతాము. బిహేవియర్ లెవెల్లో మనం ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాస్తున్నాం అనుకోండి, అక్కడ ఏం వాడతాము ట్రూత్ టేబుల్ తీసుకుంటాము, లేకపోతే బ్లాక్ డయాగ్రామ్ తీసుకుంటాం, లేకపోతే స్టేట్ డయాగ్రామ్ తీసుకుంటాం. సో దట్ యూ విల్ డిస్క్రైబ్ ది ఇన్పుట్ అవుట్పుట్ రిలేషన్, రైట్? అండ్ ద లాస్ట్ వన్ ఈస్ స్ట్రక్చరల్. సో స్ట్రక్చరల్ లో ఏం చేస్తున్నాం? So in the structural level of modeling, you are describing the functionality of the circuit with the help of the components. You are using the basic gates, you are using the digital components to describing the digital circuit operation. So these are the three levels of abstraction. They are very, very important because our entire VHDL course, it is deals with the either behavior or data flow or structural, and sometimes we may use combination of these levels. You can combine the behavioral and data flow. In some VHDL course, we combine the behavioral and data flow, right? So these are the levels of abstraction. These are the levels of abstraction here. So do you understand that the VHDL entity and VHDL architecture and the levels of abstraction? మీరు ఒక ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ రాస్తున్నారు అంటే దాన్ని 3 డిఫరెంట్ వేస్ లో రాయొచ్చు. ఒకటి బిహేవియరల్ లెవెల్లో, రెండోది డేటా ఫ్లో లెవెల్లో, మూడవది స్ట్రక్చరల్ ఫ్లో. ఓకే, సో ఇక్కడ మనం ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ కన్సిడర్ చేద్దాము, ర్యాండమ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. అది మనందరికీ తెలిసిన ఎగ్జాంపులే, హాఫ్ యాడర్ సర్క్యూట్ కన్సిడర్ చేస్తున్నారు. సో ఇక్కడ మనం ఏం చెప్పాం ఇప్పుడు? డిఫరెంట్ మోడలింగ్ స్టైల్స్ అని చెప్పాం. సో వాట్ ఆర్ ది డిఫరెంట్ మోడలింగ్ స్టైల్స్ ఆఫ్ VHDL? The modeling styles of VHDL are behavioral modeling, data flow modeling, and structural modeling. So now we will see the example for the three. We will see the example for the three here. So first we consider the data flow modeling. Take the data flow modeling. So data flow modeling ante em cheptunnam manam? So in data flow modeling, it describes the how the data moves through the system. Ante data elaga reach avutundi input nunchi output ki. So ikkada manam direct ga architecture body ni consider chestunnam. Chudandi meer ikkada. So దేనికి సంబంధించిన ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ ఇది? మనం ఆల్రెడీ చెప్తున్నాం ఇక్కడ హాఫ్ యాడర్. We know what is a half adder circuit. So can you write the entity for the half adder circuit? Can you write the entity for the half adder circuit? So let us take, for writing of an entity, first we require the block diagram, right? Half adder. And what are the inputs to this half adder? In the architecture body, you can see A and B are the inputs. So A and B are the inputs. And what are the outputs here? This sum, in a short form I am representing S, and carry is representing in a short form C. Let us. Okay. So now this is the function which is going to be modeled in the VHDL. So now how to write the entity here? How to write the entity here? So we will write using the entity syntax here. Entity syntax. What is entity syntax? So first we will, just a second. So is it visible? ఏమన్నా కనబడుతుందా? సో ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ మీరు ఇంతకు ముందు మనం కన్సిడర్ చేసిన ఎంటిటీని తీసుకుంటే ఆ ఎంటిటీ ఏంటి? హాఫ్ యాడర్ ఈజ్ ఏ ఎంటిటీ. ఎందుకంటే ఆ సర్క్యూట్ మనం అక్కడ డిజైన్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఎంటిటీ రాయాలి. సో ఎంటిటీ రాయాలంటే మనం ఫస్ట్ ఏం చేయాలి, ఎంటిటీ సింటాక్స్ ని యూజ్ చేస్తాం కదా. సో ఏంటి కీవర్డ్ ఏంటి అక్కడ, ఎంటిటీ, en entity with the entity name. So let us say the entity name is a half adder circuit. దాన్ని నేను షార్ట్ ఫామ్ గా హాఫ్ యాడర్ అని చూపిస్తున్నాను, రైట్, అండ్ ఈజ్, రైట్. సో నెక్స్ట్ ఏం చేస్తున్నాం, మనం పోర్ట్స్ ని డిక్లేర్ చేయాలి, రైట్, అంతే కదా, పోర్ట్స్ ని. సో పోర్ట్స్ ని డిక్లేర్ చేసేటప్పుడు మనం బ్లాక్ డయాగ్రామ్ గుర్తుంది కదా, బ్లాక్ డయాగ్రామ్ లో ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి ఇన్పుట్స్, 2 ఇన్పుట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, A and B, right, and 2 outputs, sum and carry. So now let us declare the inputs and outputs for the half adder circuit. So here you are writing the entity declaration. So it is starts with the keyword entity with the entity name HA and then is. So now you declare the inputs and outputs. So what are the inputs here? We have A is an input here. Let's say the input A. So A semicolon. So మనం ఇక్కడ ఏం డిఫైన్ చేస్తాం, పోర్ట్ లో మనకు వచ్చేటప్పుడు ఒక సిగ్నల్ నేమ్, ఆ సిగ్నల్ మోడ్ అండ్ సిగ్నల్ టైప్, రైట్. అదే కదా మన సింటాక్స్ లో చూసింది, సిగ్నల్ నేమ్, సిగ్నల్ మోడ్ అండ్ సిగ్నల్ టైప్. ఇక్కడ ఏ అన్నది ఏంటి, ఇన్పుట్ మోడా, అవుట్పుట్ మోడా, ఇన్అవుట్ మోడా, బఫరా. ఇక్కడ ఏంటది, ఏ అన్నది ఇన్పుట్ కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ మనం ఇన్, రైట్, అండ్ ది టైప్ ఆఫ్ ద సిగ్నల్. సో హియర్ ది టైప్ ఆఫ్ ద సిగ్నల్, లెట్ take it as a standard logic, or you simply also define it as a bit also. You can simply define as a bit also, but the most commonly used standard logic is std logic, std underscore logic, std underscore logic, right. So first signal define chesam. So next malli em cheyali, ippudu second signal define cheyali, right, second signal define cheyali. So B, what is the mode of the signal, B, in, right, and then the type of the signal std, the same logic, and end with the semicolon. Each signal must be terminate with the semicolon. Colon is for to distinguish the signal name and the mode, and the semicolon is for to terminate the signal. So now we have defined the A and B, 2 inputs have defined, right. A and B, 2 inputs are defined here. Oh, sorry. Right. So next one, output define చేయండి. సో అవుట్పుట్ అంటే ఇక్కడ ఏం చెప్తున్నాం, ఎస్ అన్నాం, సమ్ అన్నాం కదా, షార్ట్ ఫామ్ నేను ఎస్ తీసుకున్నాను, ఇక్కడ కంప్లీట్ గా రాస్తున్నాను. సో సమ్, సో సమ్ ఇది టైప్ ఆఫ్ సిగ్నల్ ఏమవుతుంది, ఐ మీన్ మోడ్ ఆఫ్ ద సిగ్నల్ అవుట్, అండ్ std అండర్స్కోర్ లాజిక్ సెమీకాలన్. ఎందుకని సమ్ సిగ్నల్ ఇక్కడ టెర్మినేట్ చేశాం, రైట్. అండ్ దెన్ ది నెక్స్ట్ వన్ క్యారీ. సో క్యారీ semicolon, sorry, colon, and out std space std underscore logic underscore logic. So ikkada manam compulsory cheyalsindi enti, after the bracket you must terminate the signal. So if you terminate the signal with the semicolon at before the bracket, so it will give you the syntax error. So because it is the because of the syntax. So here you have to put the semicolon after the bracket, and end is a keyword, and end with the entity name. What is the entity name here, half adder circuit, and with the semicolon. So this is the entity for the a half adder circuit. The entity is common. The entity is common to all the architectures. So suppose you are writing the architecture with the 3 different levels: data flow, of function, data flow, structural, and behavior. Let's say మూడిట్లోనూ రాస్తున్నాను అనుకోండి, మూడిట్లోనూ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ బాడీ 1, ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ బాడీ 2, ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ బాడీ 3 కింద మనం డిఫైన్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. కామన్ ఎంటిటీ. So this is how to write the entity declaration. Entity declaration. So now we will go back to the actual program code. So this is the entity where the A and B are the standard logic of input, sum and carry are the standard logic of the output. So the standard logic consists of the 0 and 1, and also the other logical values. What are the other logical values? Do you remember that? U, X, underscore, W. Okay, so these are 9 multi-value logic levels, standard logic. It has 9 multi-value levels. So this is the entity for our half adder circuit. So now we will see the data flow of modeling architecture. కనబడుతుందా? సో కాబట్టి ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ మీరు నెక్స్ట్ ఏం చేస్తున్నారు, ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ బాడీని కంటిన్యూ చేస్తున్నారు. ఇక్కడ ఎగ్జాంపుల్లో అక్కడ మనం ఇంత ముందు నేను చూపించింది ఎంటిటీ ఎలా రాసామని చూపించాను. ఇక్కడ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ లో మనకి ఏమొస్తుంది, ఫస్ట్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ కీవర్డ్ వస్తుంది కదా. సో ఇట్ స్టార్ట్స్ విత్ ది ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ కీవర్డ్. ఇట్ స్టార్ట్స్ విత్ ది ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ కీవర్డ్ అండ్ నేమ్ ఆఫ్ ది ఆర్కిటెక్చర్. సో నేమ్ ఆఫ్ ద ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ ఏం తీసుకున్నాను, యూజర్ డిఫైన్డ్ కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ మనం తీసుకుంటుంది ఏంటంటే హాఫ్ యాడర్ అండర్ స్కోర్ కాంకరెంట్ అంటున్నాడు. ఏదైనా తీసుకోవచ్చు, ఇక్కడ తీసుకున్నది హాఫ్ యాడర్ అండర్ స్కోర్ కాంకరెంట్ ఆఫ్ హాఫ్ యాడర్. అంటే ఇక్కడ మన ఎంటిటీ ఏంటి, ఇందాక మనం తీసుకున్న ఎంటిటీ హాఫ్ యాడర్ హెచ్ఏ. కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ ఏమో ఫుల్ గా రాసి అక్కడేమో షార్ట్ ఫామ్ లో హెచ్ఏ అని రాస్తే అది సింటాక్స్ ఎర్రర్ ఇస్తుంది. కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ మనం ఏం తీసుకోవాలి, అక్కడ ఏదైతే ఎంటిటీ నేమ్ తీసుకున్నామో అదే ఎంటిటీ నేమ్ ఇక్కడ మనం ఇవ్వాలి, రైట్. ఇది అయిన తర్వాత మనకి నెక్స్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ వన్ బిగిన్. ద బిగిన్ ఈజ్ ఎ కీవర్డ్. వాట్ ఎవర్ ద స్టేట్మెంట్స్ after the begin, so they will be executed in the architecture body either sequentially or the concurrently, either sequentially or concurrently. But ఇది ఏ type of modeling, ఇది data flow type of modeling. So since it is a data type of modeling, the statements are what? The statements are the concurrent statements. So they will be parallelly executed. The sum and carry both will be executed parallelly. అదొంతుందని అన్నది. సో ఇక్కడ ప్యారలల్ గా రెండు ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతాయి. సో ఇప్పుడు ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఎలా రాస్తున్నారు చూడండి. మన యాక్చువల్ అవుట్పుట్ ఏంటి, సమ్. సో ఇక్కడ దీన్ని ఎలా అసైన్ చేస్తున్నాడు, ఇందుట్లో లాజిక్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ ఉపయోగిస్తున్నాడు. ఏంటో లాజిక్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్, సమ్ అంటే ఏంటి, హాఫ్ యాడర్ సర్క్యూట్ కి ఏ ఎక్స్క్లూజివ్ బిఏ కదా. వాట్ ఈస్ ద లాజిక్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ ఫర్ సమ్, ఏ ఎక్స్క్లూజివ్ బి. Instead of writing the complete logic expression a bar b plus a b bar, you can simply represent with an XOR gate, right? So therefore a XOR b after 8 nanoseconds, it is an optional one. So don't worry about this, it is an optional one. So we will see later this one. So which means that the a and b are logically XORed and the output is produced at the sum after the 8 nanoseconds. అది ఇక్కడ మీనింగ్. 8 nanoseconds తర్వాత మీకు ఈ లాజికల్ అవుట్పుట్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ అనేది సమ్కి వెళ్తుంది. అండ్ క్యారీ చూడండి, క్యారీకి ఏం చెప్తున్నాం, క్యారీని ఎలాగ ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయొచ్చు హాఫ్ యాడర్ సర్క్యూట్ లో, ఇట్ జస్ట్ సింప్లీ ఇంప్లిమెంటెడ్ విత్ ద టర్మ్ ఏబి. సో దీనికి ఏం చేశాడు, ఏ అండ్ బి, సింప్లీ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఇంప్లిమెంటెడ్ బై ఎ లాజిక్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ ఏ అండ్ బి. సో ఏ అండ్ బి అంటే ఏ ఆపరేషన్ జరుగుతుంది, లాజికల్ అండ్ ఆపరేషన్. సో ఇక్కడ ఆఫ్టర్ 4 nanoseconds అంటే ఏంటి, దీన్ని డిలే అంటాం. సో ఈ ఏ అండ్ బి అనేది లాజికల్ అండ్ ఆపరేషన్ జరుగుతుంది అండ్ ఆఫ్టర్ 4 nanoseconds తర్వాత అవుట్పుట్ అనేది క్యారీకి వెళ్తుంది, ఐ మీన్ ది క్యారీకి అవుట్పుట్ వెళ్తుంది. సో దిస్ ఈస్ ద డేటా ఫ్లో మోడలింగ్ ఆఫ్ స్టైల్ హియర్. దిస్ ఈస్ ది డేటా ఫ్లో మోడలింగ్ ఆఫ్ స్టైల్. అంటే ఇక్కడ ఏం చేస్తాం మనం, మీరు అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే జస్ట్ యు ఆర్ యూజింగ్ ది లాజిక్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్స్ ఓన్లీ. We are not using any of the truth tables and you are not using any digital components. You are not using any digital components. You are just simply used expression A exclusive B is one expression for implement of the sum and the carry is implemented by using a logical expression AB. So this is data flow modeling. డేటా ఫ్లోలో ఏం వాడతాం మనం, లాజిక్ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్స్ వాడతాము. డేటా ఫ్లోలో మనం ఏం వాడతాము, కాంకరెంట్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ వాడతాము. సో నౌ దీస్ టూ ఆర్ ది కాంకరెంట్ అసైన్మెంట్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్. and the sum and carry, these two outputs simultaneously get updated here. ఎందుకంటే ఏ ఎక్స్క్లూజివ్ ఆర్ బి, ఏ అండ్ బి రెండు ఒకేసారి పెర్ఫామ్ చేస్తాయి ఎప్పుడు మీరు ఈ టైం అనే దాన్ని స్పెసిఫై చేయకపోతే. అదే మీరు టైం స్పెసిఫై చేశారు, సో టైం స్పెసిఫై చేసేటప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, అకార్డింగ్ టు ద టైమింగ్ ఆఫ్ ద సిగ్నల్, ఐ మీన్ ది టైమింగ్ మోడల్. సో ఇక్కడ ఏమవుతుంది, ఏ ఎక్స్క్లూజివ్ ఆర్ బి అన్నది 8 నానో సెకండ్స్ తర్వాత అవుట్పుట్ కి వెళ్తుంది సమ్. ఏ అండ్ బి అన్నది 4 నానో సెకండ్స్ తర్వాత క్యారీకి రీచ్ అవుతుంది. అసలు మీరు వాడలేదనుకోండి, ఆఫ్టర్ అనే కీవర్డ్ వాళ్ళ, అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, జస్ట్ ఏమవుతుందంటే ఏ ఎక్స్క్లూజివ్ ఆర్ బి అండ్ ఏ and B, they will be simultaneously executed with the same time and the sum and carry get updated. That is data flow modeling style. Is అర్థమైందమ్మా నేను అన్నది? So for today we will stop here.
Sir.
కాబట్టి మీరు బాగా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, మన VHDL ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ రాయాలి అంటే మనకు కావాల్సింది ఎంటిటీ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్. ఫైన్. సో ఎంటిటీ అనేది మనం ఈజీగా రాయగలుగుతాము. బ్లాక్ డయాగ్రామ్ ఉంటే ఇన్పుట్ అవుట్పుట్స్ ని డిఫైన్ చేయడమే ఎంటిటీ అంటారు. ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ అనేటప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ లో మనకి 2 పార్ట్స్ ఉంటాయి, డిక్లరేటివ్ పార్ట్, స్టేట్మెంట్ పార్ట్. అది మన ప్రాక్టీస్ లో మనకు అర్థమవుతుంది. కానీ ఇక్కడ మీరు మెయిన్ అర్థం చేసుకోవాల్సింది ఏంటంటే, ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ అనేది రాస్తున్నప్పుడు మీకు 3 స్టైల్స్ అనేవి ఉంటాయి. ఏంటా స్టైల్స్, ఒకటి బిహేవియర్ స్టైల్, రెండవది డేటా ఫ్లో స్టైల్, మూడవది స్ట్రక్చరల్. వీటిల్ని లెవెల్స్ ఆఫ్ అబ్స్ట్రాక్షన్ అంటారు. రైట్. సో కాబట్టి ఈ రోజుకి మనం డేటా ఫ్లో మోడలింగ్ తో స్టాప్ చేద్దాము. సో నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్, సో వి విల్ డిస్కస్ ది an example like the same similar example for behavioral and for the structural. So ఇది అయిన తర్వాత then if possible we will see another example and then we will go into the other design elements like data objects and data types. So మీకు ఏదైనా అర్థం కాకపోతే నన్ను అడగండి అమ్మా. ఓకే. అండ్ ఇంకొక పాయింట్